Welcome. Alright, so for Remnant from the Ashes, we've got new downloadable content added to Xbox now. Well, up until a few days ago, it actually came out for Xbox. So after forking out £8 or £9 ish in England, that is anyway, you then get Swamp of Corsus, which I think is how you pronounce it, Swamp of Corsus. Well, yeah. Anyway, here's a few tips on what to expect when you're playing, and it's not going to be as fun when you're playing it by yourself, so try and get some teammates in, because it's kind of like Gears of War in a way, in terms of horde mode, waves, because after defeating the first boss, you're basically gonna go on to the next round on a different map and different bosses. You know, you get my meaning. Now, it doesn't really matter about how many hours or damage, weapons, etc. you put into this, because this is a completely separate mode. You're basically stuck at the beginning with nothing. Now, you may have noticed when you select survival mode on the crystal at your base, you're gonna get teleported to the Lambeth. Well, a different kind of Lambeth, that is. And you're gonna find 5-6 stones hanging around with equipment and goods and whatnot. So these are what you can buy on each boss, after each map, basically. So let's go for number one, shall we say. You may have noticed that when you start, you get £1,000 or 1,000 silver, and basically what you want to do is buy yourself something. You don't really need no melee weapons. I would tell you in the next bit anyway. You don't really need any melee weapons for the first fight, because you can just use your fists. As you may notice in a minute, or in about 10 seconds that on your first map, you can actually start punching them instead of buying a melee weapon. This actually saves you on buying a melee weapon for the first boss, first map, first wave, shall we say. And then, when you move to the second map, you then can decide to buy whatever you want. But for me, I would normally buy armor. But you want at least 2 to 3 people guaranteed to win each map. But here's a few other tips on how to get far in the game. When you're out and about, you do start to pick up perks or traits. Along the way, you want to search boxes, basically anywhere. When you're looking around, you've got to start searching. You then get available weapons, armor, so you don't really have to buy it, but you will start finding it, provided you live each map, that is. Chests or boxes such as this will give you scrap supplies, which you also need to buy new stuff from when you return to the Lambeth for your next wave. Now, I don't think you can actually find any fragments from these boxes, because I've been looking for fragments, and your best bet on finding fragments are mini bosses, shall we say, or mini enemies, such as this glowy flying thing, which I'm not sure what it's even called yet, except for some sort of bug. And essentially, your best chances of getting these is from the big ones, or the mini bosses such as them. You don't really get it from your normal standard enemies. For the first wave, I actually bought all the armor just to be safe and get through it. The player next to me actually had nothing, just a shirt and underwear. Now she's got armor and a gun. a secondary gun that is, that you can actually buy at the very beginning if you wanted to. Also, you're gonna time limit, obviously. For obvious reason, you wanna rush it, but you also wanna have a quick look around to grab books, etc. So you're better off for the next wave, next map. You get my meaning. So, the traits, you can only actually pick one up. It doesn't go to your partner that I know of, but scrap does, money does. So the more books you find, the more traits you get, and the more level up it goes up as you progress through the game. As you may have noticed, they have added new bosses and mini standard monsters into the game for the downloadable content, like the Barb Terror, which is kind of cool because I like this one. It's actually looks nice compared to other bosses we have to deal with, so it's nice to have a new boss to deal with. Most times you have to go through two areas. You know, when you're in one area, you go through the door, then you go to another area. Most times it's going to be like that. Sometimes it's one area you deal with, then the next area is the boss. So, and you know, after defeating the boss, you then travel to the crystal. There's only one crystal in this game, and it's at the very end after the boss. So make sure you don't waste. The precious heart healing thing. I forgot what you call it now. I played this for like 116 hours. About the heart thing that heals you. So basically, you want to take care on using them. You know, at least for the first, second, maybe 3 maps until you buy more hearts. This is also where you want to buy your melee weapon. Now, if you look at the top, we look at the top left, it says number 1, which means you've done 1 map, 1 boss. So as you progress higher, you're gonna get more bosses. Sometimes you get the same bosses. I'm not exactly sure. I mean,
you hear something?
So again, you're gonna wanna look around, look for equipment, attachments, accessories. It saves yourself buying them. Always try to reserve some hearts for your partner in case they go down. Otherwise, you're going to screw yourself up because you will need your partner to get through this, in a sense. Otherwise, if you do this alone, you're not going to get very far. It's just going to get harder and harder and harder. Other than those few crucial points, there's not much more to do, and just make sure you're better equipped. I didn't really have time to equip my best stuff. As you can see, I was only having a few stuff on, not the best. And we got to wave 6, which is like 6 bosses, and the difficulty was 14, I think. But in the end, the difficulty, we got it up to 14? Wait, it says 4 here, but if you go back like a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds, you actually see it's on 14. And it wasn't really that hard, even though it was on 14, but the difficulty was normal, so if the difficulty was higher, then you can imagine it'd be a lot more harder. And below the red mark is basically your level, you know, as you level up in the game, on survival mode, that is. Alright, that's that for Remnants of the Ashes, survival mode, which survival of the course, is it? Survival of the Corsa? I suppose, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Some Gamer and feel free to tune in for more updates on Remnants and such. I mean, I do Resident Evil Laws too, which I'm a big fan of, so I basically do them when I'm around anyway, that is. So stay tuned and keep up to date. Thanks.